I guarantee most of you don't understand AI and the bubble. In the next few minutes, I will make you understand AI and the bubble like a layman. This video will be worth watching. AI is not one machine, not created by one company, and not one product. AI is an ecosystem. An ecosystem means many different parts working together. You remove one part, AI stops functioning. Let's understand this ecosystem step by step. The first layer is data. Data means text, images, audios and videos, user behavior. Data is the raw material for AI. Who provides this data? Humans themselves create it. Humans provide data every day by using products and services of companies like Google, Microsoft, Meta, Apple, Amazon and Tesla. Now raw data by itself is useless. So the second layer is intelligence, where patterns are identified and rules are created to turn data into understanding. Now this job is mainly done by Microsoft, Google and Meta. These companies use AI researchers, engineers and scientists to create this intelligence. This intelligence is packed into what we call models. Like GPT is a model, Gemini is a model. At this stage, the AI brain is pure logic. It exists as code, algorithms, and models. Just like the human brain cannot function on its own and needs a human body, AI brain developed by companies like Microsoft, Google, and Meta also require powerful hardware to function in the real world. This is where the third layer is specialized chips come in, built largely by NVIDIA. These chips don't give intelligence to AI. They provide the computational power, speed, and the scale that allows the AI brain to work. Now, even with a brain and a body, AI still cannot function on its own. Just like a human needs a home and basic amenities, AI also needs a place where it can live and operate. This is where fourth and final layer, cloud and data centers, come in. AI models run inside massive data centers, mainly operated by companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Google. These data centers provide power, storage, internet, and security. Without this infrastructure, AI simply shuts down. Now that you understand the raw material of AI, the brain of AI, the body of AI, and the home of AI, this four-layer structure together is what we call the AI ecosystem. If you look carefully at the entire ecosystem, only a handful of companies known as the Magnificent Seven control these core layers. So after knowing all this, are you wondering what these companies do? Chances are many of you are already using them. So here is the truth. They do not build AI from scratch. They mainly develop their apps, websites and tools. For everything else, they depend on the Magnificent Seven. They use what already exists. In simple words, these startups are AI users and not AI creators. Now after watching the last two segments of this video about the AI ecosystem and the truth about AI startup companies, you know something that most people don't. Now here comes the main question. How bad is the AI bubble? But doesn't this question itself validate the existence of a bubble? Okay, look at this picture now. This image has been circulating all over the internet. It shows a few big AI deals between major tech companies. At first glance, everything looks normal. But when I actually went through these deals carefully, I noticed several red flags. Let's look at a few examples. Microsoft invested heavily in OpenAI. In return, OpenAI spends massive money to use Microsoft's data center, Azure. In short, Microsoft got back the money it invested. Now look at example number 2. OpenAI made a deal to buy chips from AMD, NVIDIA's competitor. In return, AMD offered OpenAI the option to acquire around 10% of the company at a discounted rate. In short, it's a win-win for both. OpenAI gave a very big contract to Oracle to build data centers for OpenAI. After that, Oracle made a very big deal with NVIDIA to buy their chips. Then NVIDIA offered a very big investment in OpenAI. In short, no matter whether OpenAI or NVIDIA designed this deal, the money just comes back. So can you see the red flags now? After every deal, revenue gets recorded on company's book, but it's mostly the same money rotating within the loop. In simple terms, money is circulating within the ecosystem, and every loop or every deal make the companies look bigger, stronger, and more valuable on paper. Because of these, the share prices of these big tech companies have risen tremendously, and their valuations have grown many times compared to their actual revenue. Here, the exact amount of money or the exact sequence of these deals is not the most important thing. Obviously, this is an oversimplification, but the core idea remains the same. Now, let's talk about the most important yet most ignored part of the entire bubble story on the internet. You might be wondering, okay, there are red flags clearly in big tech, but what about the AI startups we talked about earlier? See, the core problem is AI startups are paying millions of dollars every month to big tech companies for their extremely expensive services like cloud computing, data centers, and AI chips. Because as you already understood, they are AI users, not AI creators. To afford this spending, they are completely dependent on VC funding. That's because most of these startups are not generating revenue from their end users through subscriptions. In reality, a large portion of users are accessing these tools and websites for free. If this sounds familiar, you might remember what happened during the dot-com boom. Back then, any company with .com in its name received crazy valuations and funding, even with zero revenue and no real business. Today, we are seeing a very similar pattern. Just like .com back then, the word AI alone is enough to attract massive funding and sky-high valuations. These valuations are nowhere near reality when compared to actual revenues. In short, VCs are funding these startups, and the startups are burning that money to run their tools and websites. When the dot-com bubble burst, companies with no real business, just hype, disappeared. Only a few companies with sustainable business models survived. The same thing will likely to happen with AI. AI startups are both customers and major revenue sources for big tech. But the services provided by big tech are extremely expensive. Because of this, only a small percentage of AI startups will survive, even if users eventually move from free usage to paid subscriptions. Soon investors may cut their funding, and nearly 90% of AI startups will run out of money simply because they have no concrete plan for revenue generation. Most AI startups will either shut down or gets acquired for pennies. This will lead to a major revenue loss for big tech. This startup situation, along with the extraordinary inflated book figures created by circular money flows, will eventually trigger a major correction in big tech valuations. But AI is real. This technology will stay just like the internet did. But the hype driven companies and inflated valuations will not.